Welcome back to the Vault. Today's video is an interview with Todd DeGespy, owner of DeGespy Funeral Homes, and Sergeant Justin Wall from the Professional Standards Division. This interview takes place on May 13th, 2021. Jeremy did funeral escorts with DeGespy Funeral Homes and made a claim that Sergeant Vidler had spoken with a number of businesses, including DeGespy Funeral Homes, to get them to stop using Metro State. Now, I'm going to let Mr. DeGespy speak for himself, but it's safe to say Jeremy's story just doesn't add up to what actually happened. Don't forget to like the video, comment down below, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
I'm Sergeant Justin Wall of the Orange County Sheriff's Office Professional Standards Section. Today's date is May 13th, 2021, and the current time is 4:12 p.m. This interview is being conducted at, I'm sorry, I forgot the address.
Sure, 157 East New England Avenue, Suite 340, Winter Park, Florida 32789.
Okay. And I'm interviewing, can you just state your name and what you represent?
Todd DeGespy, DeGespy Funeral Homes.
Okay, and are you the owner?
I am.
Okay. Also present in the room is Mr. DeGespy's attorney. Can you just state your name?
Yeah, Nicholas Sedul on behalf of Todd DeGespy.
Okay. Mr. DeGespy, are you aware that I'm recording this interview?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened, coerced, or offered you any preferential treatment to give this statement?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol that may impair your testimony?
No.
Can you raise your right hand so I can put you under oath? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are to provide will be true and correct?
I do.
Okay. And as we briefly spoke about, I'm conducting an investigation into the conduct of Sheriff's Office employees, specifically as it relates to a Sergeant Keith Vidler and a Corporal Ramsey, and their interactions with a Mr. DeWitt. Mr. DeWitt has brought forward some allegations regarding our employees, and so I learned that you may have some information about that, so that's what I'm here to ask about.
Okay.
Did you do business with Mr. DeWitt?
I did.
Okay. What kind of business?
He provided funeral escorts for my company periodically.
And so how long did you conduct business with Mr. DeWitt?
Maybe for a couple years. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline.
Do you know when you concluded business with him, roughly? Or have you concluded business with him?
I do not do business with him anymore. It's been at least 2 years. I don't know.
At least 2 years?
In and around.
Okay. So we're in mid-2021, so 2019?
Something like that.
Okay. But prior to that, you did business with him?
Yeah, occasionally. I used his company in Curtis.
Okay.
And it wasn't me, it was whoever the directors called. It was their choice.
So you had directors that dealt with those companies?
Correct.
Okay.
And I wouldn't know who they called or who they didn't call.
Okay. How many directors do you have?
In and around 6.
6? Okay. Have you personally ever met with Sergeant Keith Vidler from the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Never even heard the name before.
Okay. So a Sergeant Vidler or anybody else from the Sheriff's Office, has anybody ever approached you?
I've never had anyone, a deputy from Orange or Seminole County, ever call me or contact me about an escort company, ever.
Okay. So they've never left a business card or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
If it happened, I just don't remember, but I don't, something like that to me would stand out, and I don't remember anything like that.
Okay. You said you have 6 directors. Do you kind of run the company?
I do. I mean, I'm in charge, but I'm not there day by day. I mean, they're not going to call me up and ask me what escort company to use.
Okay.
But you know, they're fully aware that we're pretty much not using federal at this point. For a while, actually.
Okay. When you say federal, is that
I think it's called
Metro State?
Metro State.
Okay.
I thought it was called federal, but Metro State.
Metro State. Okay. And you haven't used them for a couple of years. So if someone, if Sergeant Vidler or anybody else from the Sheriff's Office spoke to anybody in your company, a manager or one of the directors, if they were approached by a deputy sheriff or anyone and to speak negatively about a vendor, would that be something that they would bring to your attention?
I would say most likely, for sure. they would contact me and say, hey, I was contacted, and they recommended we not use XYZ. I
Okay.
believe that they would share that with me.
They would have shared that with you, and did
I
that
believe
happen?
so. To the best of my knowledge, no.
Okay. All right, and again, this would have been probably a couple of years ago that this all would have taken place. So, in your recollection, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you know about this investigation you'd like to add?
I mean, I mentioned to you about the email that we received. It seemed like it might have been an email blast. If someone says, hey, don't use this Jeremy DeWitt and stuff like that, but it said they were a veteran. I vaguely remember what it said. You know, I get all these crazy emails from time to time.
Okay. Go talk to me about that. I don't recall.
But we just received an email blast, and this is going back some time. I vaguely remember saying they never said, I don't believe it ever said who they were. It said don't use Metro State or whatever it's called. The guy's a criminal, he's not a veteran, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And for me to even find this email would be like a needle in a haystack.
Did you get that email personally?
I think it came through my email.
Okay.
But my email goes through the website email, so it's the one listed on the homepage.
So like your company's email, not your personal email. Is that right? Or
No,
are
it's
those one and the
company
same?
one and the same.
Okay. Do you know when that was?
I don't, man. I mean, even to find that thing, like I said, it'd be like a needle in a haystack to try to find it. I don't even know how you would go about finding it.
Okay. Did it look like it was sent from anything official, like from the sheriff's office, or did it look like it was sent?
It looked something like really random to me.
Okay.
If it were from a deputy or something like that, it would be a red flag, you know, because I would be like, because that would be odd to me.
Yeah.
You know, a deputy would send that. So it was nothing like that. It was just some random name.
Okay.
And I can't even believe if they were going to bash someone like that, they would ever use their own name.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
And I don't know if I touched on it. Why did you stop using Metro
Because he
State?
was very volatile. You know, he was always like, you know, if you've ever seen the YouTube videos, that's how he was. F this, F that, and banging on cars, screaming at his staff like there's no tomorrow. In a funeral procession, I'm like thinking, this isn't a very good harmony here, you know, for a funeral. And then, you know, people start mentioning, say, hey, this guy's been in trouble before, you know, so.
Okay.
And
And
then
was that your decision, or was that one of the directors' decision to cancel business?
I just thought it wasn't a good image for my company.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you know you'd like to add?
Not that I can think of. I just really know limited anything about, you know, the situation.
Okay. All right. The current time is 4:20 p.m. and that concludes the interview.